my goodness. It is 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, and I am so excited to be going live today, everyone. If you are tuning in on one of my pages, whether it be my LinkedIn community, my YouTube community, or my Facebook community, I am so glad to have you here. And if we haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Kelly Mergler. I'm based here in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I cannot wait to share with you something that's been on my heart and something that I have been so passionate about since 2016 when I first found out about this beautiful movement called Change Your World. And I wanted to bring a special guest here with me from the Maxwell Leadership Foundation. And I'm going to have Tricia join me in just a second. And we're going to talk about some really exciting things that are going on just in our world with Maxwell Leadership Foundation and how you, that's right, you, every one of you that is tuning in or watching the replay, a lot of you ask and say, I want to change the world. Well, first and foremost, you have to change your world. And that's what Tricia and I are here to share with you today. I am a member of the John Maxwell, the Maxwell Leadership faculty. I've been a part of the team since 2016. And Tricia, you have got quite the history with Maxwell Leadership, and now a huge part of, you are the Innovation Director at Maxwell Leadership Foundation. So Tricia, I think there's a little fun fact that you were going to share about how you kind of got started with John Maxwell. So please share it.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. And thanks so much for letting me join you today. Yeah, so fun. I got to get started working with John as an intern back in San Diego in 1992.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. And that's when John was living in San Diego. And what did you do as an intern? I'm so curious. Like, where did you start?
It was a lot of fun. We did a little bit of everything. Like, do you want to help someone with a conference question today? Sure. Then do you want to pack those conference orders that we just got in? I'd be happy to. Anything we could do, and got to learn and watch along the way.
Oh my gosh. And now you are working with Maxwell Leadership Foundation, which is an organization that is obviously part of Maxwell, the enterprise, the whole organization. So Tricia, share with us what Maxwell Leadership Foundation does and what your role is.
Sure, thank you. So we're really passionate about growing leaders who produce transformation. And so we have a variety of ways that we're able to do that. And I think you and I have gotten to be a part of some of those, and we'll get to talk about those. But really, we work towards sharing values-based, people-centric leadership content that helps people be the best version of themselves, lead themselves well, so then they can turn around and make a difference in their organizations, their community, their homes, etc.
Love it. And this is something we've been wanting to talk about for a while. So I'm glad we were able to make it work. And we want to share just what is Change Your World and how Change Your World has really touched both of us and thousands, in the millions at this point. Tricia, I'm going to have you share some stats in just a moment. But a lot of you that have worked with me or have been following me on social media or just known me for a while, you obviously know that I would not be where I am today if it weren't for the blessing that I was given of having John Maxwell come into my life. And just a little history for those of you that may not know this about my story, but back in 2016, I got a call from Mark Cole, who is the CEO of Maxwell Leadership, and he was riding in a cab with John Maxwell, leaving a conference that John just spoke at in Vancouver. And I remember it was January 4th of 2016. And Mark said, he's like, John and I are talking. John is doing a lot of world transformation in other countries. It started in Guatemala. And they're like, Kelly, we have a thought. We are going to our next country, and it's Paraguay. And we would love you to join us and be a part of transformation and helping start what are called roundtables. Now, taking you back to 2016, I was working in my corporate job and really looking for more and wanting to do more and create more significance. And Paraguay from South Florida is a 13-hour journey. And I knew I'd have to travel all by myself, and I never knew what would be on the other side of it. But for all of you out there that know, that journey and what that looked like, that journey did change my life. And a lot of times, Tricia and I, we talk about with other leaders that really Change Your World and the whole movement behind Change Your World, it really changes our world more sometimes when we're there in the countries and we're doing transformation tables and helping bring values-based leadership to other nations all over the globe. And this is a huge movement that Maxwell Leadership Foundation is really putting a lot of energy and materials into. And so, Tricia, I want you to share, like, what was your experience with Change Your World? Where did you go first?
Well, I was a part of that first launch in Guatemala in 2013, and that was amazing. But exactly like you just said, Kelly, you think you're going there to be a part of helping them and to share these incredible leadership content, but also just a methodology that really helps people dive in and experience personal growth. But what you learned was transformation begins in me, and you get to experience it. And as you're experiencing that and then getting to share it with others, you just walk away with that sense of, oh my goodness, I've been a part of something so meaningful. And just that sense of significance has just been beautiful. So yeah, I've been to Guatemala, Paraguay, Costa Rica as a part of those launches. And now with Change Your World, we have the opportunity to be able to say, this isn't just for an organization or a country or community that we're in partnership with doing a country transformation effort. Change Your World is for anyone who's willing to learn and live good values. And so we've created a program for the individual organization who wants to be able to go through that.
I love that. And that is something that a lot of my clients have started asking about recently. Tricia, you may not know this, but recently I did a launch of a transformation table around the values that you're talking about with a wonderful nonprofit called Urban Youth Impact. And they wanted to do transformation tables with their leadership team so they could really just learn how to live out good values for the youth and for the community here that they serve. And so we did that inside their organization for 6 weeks. And other organizations that have been touched by Change Your World, I mean, there's so many that are starting to sign up and get involved because, I mean, Tricia, think about this. Our world is hungry for good leadership. And the work that you're doing and what I'm doing in my organization within corporate cultures, employees are just so much starving for good leadership. And as John Maxwell says, everyone deserves to be led well, and that's so important. And so talk to the audience about what is a transformation table. So you might hear that sometimes when we're talking about it, but how do you define a transformation table? What does it look like, Tricia?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kelly. I think sometimes we're so used to it, we forget to share that with people. But a transformation table is really just an opportunity to take a small group of people, let's just say 6 to 8 people, who are going to commit to taking 1 hour a week for 6 to 12 weeks, kind of depending on which program you choose to do. And it's all free. And you're going to take that time to study these values. And their values, sometimes people get a little nervous, like, are you pushing some person or some specific group's values? But they're not. They're values that everyone can agree with. The first one's hope. We talk and lean into then listening. We look at valuing every person. We look at integrity and forgiveness. Those are things that everyone can agree with. And no matter what you do, like I loved what you just said, where you talked about being able to do this in a nonprofit and in the corporate setting. And I've been able to do that too. And you see that learning to live out these values and how you apply it wherever you are makes you better at it. It makes you more valuable, gives you more that you can add to the people around you. So that's kind of what we're doing when we're around the table. We're taking time to read a lesson, think through how it applies to us, and then super intentional to choose one action step for that next week. So it's not just content we're taking in, but this is how we say, I want to do something with this. I don't want to just sit and take notes, but I want to do something because of it and through it.
Yes, and a lot of you that are working with me now that might be watching this are part of the Coffee with Kelly tribe. And in Coffee with Kelly, we have started, I think it's like 9, maybe up to 11 now, where we actually have done, and the leaders within the Coffee with Kelly platform have done their own transformation tables, either within their organization or with individuals that are part of our community where we're trying to serve and just help others be, their best version of themselves. And I think the feedback that I've heard most when we started the transformation tables was they didn't know what to expect when it first started, because it's like you're unsure, like, what is the transformation table? What's going to happen? Am I going to be judged? Like, what kind of conversation is happening? And just to clarify for those of you out there that might be like thinking about doing it but not sure, it's not a coaching session. It's not a teaching session. It truly is a time for you, and it usually runs 40 minutes to an hour max, no more than that, and has no more than 8 people typically, is what typically will work best. But it is time for you to really take an inward look at who you are and how you are living out the value that we are discussing. And really, it's for you to reflect and look inwardly on how you can change your world in order to change the world. So Tricia, I mean, would you add anything to that?
No, that's absolutely right. I love it's a peer-to-peer process. Mm-hmm. So though there is one person who's a facilitator who kind of helps keep the group on track, like you just said, it's not one person teaching or coaching. So you're all coming to your own conclusions. And what's beautiful about that, as each person then really gets to share back their own answers, I not only learn from John's amazing proven content, I learn something every single week from the people who I'm around the table with. And that's been incredibly meaningful to be able to hear and have so many different voices in my life and being able to share those perspectives.
So true. It takes me back to the time that I did go to Paraguay, and I've had the fortune to be able to go to Paraguay, and then most recently last November, the Dominican Republic, where just both are totally different experiences, but just so much significance came out on the other side of it. And I think back, and I have this picture on my desk, so I don't know if anybody can see it, but this is a picture of 3 women that I was assigned to a transformation table in Paraguay. And this was my first time going to a country where I didn't speak the native language. So literally I was paired up with an interpreter to be able to have translate the discussion that we were having. And we were in a women's prison. And Tricia, I remember that experience so much. And I keep this on my desk to remind me of the impact that discussion had while I was in a foreign country, and remembering how it left those women who really had lost hope, had lost self-belief. And I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because being at that transformation table, it allowed them to have a safe space to remember that everyone does add value. Everyone adds value. And that is what I have truly valued most from watching different transformation tables here in the US, in Dominican Republic, and then also in Paraguay. And so Tricia, also talk about this, because this is really exciting. A lot of people ask me, when is it coming to the US? Are we ever going to do transformation things in the US? So Tricia, you just came back from where?
Branson, Missouri. And yes, I love that question, because we are in that process just now. Within the last month, we launched in Branson, Missouri, as well as Tupelo, Mississippi. And we brought in some amazing coaches who work to train local business leaders and other organizations. And what does it look like to participate in these transformation tables? And then after that, what are you going to do together to make a difference in your community? So super exciting to get to be on the front end of this in the United States.
It really is. It really is. So look out, world, because there's transformation and a lot of boots on the ground that people want to get involved. And I think this is a really good question, Tricia, that you can answer is, well, there's probably a lot of people saying, well, that sounds really cool. I want to do a transformation table. Is there a cost to it? Like, how does it work if I want to run one in my business? So, Tricia, how would you educate our followers today on who can start a transformation table? Do you have to be a business leader or own a company, or like, can you be a stay-at-home mom? So what could you say?
Yeah, absolutely. But can I go back for just 1 second? Because you made me so excited when you talked about what we were just doing in Branson. I just wanted to share one example of one of the tables that did the pre-work, and they'd already gone through the tables. And there were a group of leaders who served all in the community, and they did their tables. And it was so amazing to see that what a difference hope, that lesson on hope made when these people are working in some of the toughest jobs. They were working in as first responders and said it was so hard and what they're seeing and that hope value. And then we had some of them talking about how incredible it was to be reminded of the value that every person brings and how they're able to take it to their jobs. So sorry, I just got excited when you talked about being able to see it in the US and with our colleagues and people who we, do normal life with. So speaking of that, you asked about who. This is for, so Change Your World at changeyourworld.com is where anyone can do it. You can sign up right there. The content is there. It's free. I think it takes about 10 minutes to go through a facilitator training. And then you need to go ahead and you choose the people you want to invite. You can do it virtually or live, but you put them in the system and it will go ahead and invite them directly for you. And you can access that content each week there. So, and it's really designed for anyone. I have worked with corporate groups. I have worked with nonprofit groups. We've worked with church groups. We've worked with such a wide variety. And it's interesting, the results are different and the same. We hear just increased engagement as teammates get to know each other. Mm-hmm. We hear about people who are like, I cannot believe that I have worked with this person for 5 years, and yet I didn't know we have this much in common. Mm-hmm. We see common language being created, and they're like, this is literally shaping our culture. Mm-hmm. It's just been incredible to see the variety of results. And because the content is generic enough, but for you to apply to your own setting, it fits whether you're talking in the healthcare field, you're talking in a mortgage company. We have an amazing mortgage company that has rolled it out with like 2,000 of their employees and are seeing great benefit because of it. So it really is open for anyone who's willing to commit. The investment is, you really have to be committed to showing up for about no more than 1 hour a week for at least 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that hour commitment, I look back at all of the people that we've had through Coffee with Kelly go through transformation tables. And I've just been so inspired to watch individuals that have shown up and stepped up that had no leadership training experience, that had never done this, just like me when I went to Paraguay and I didn't know what to expect. And they're people of all different generations, all different backgrounds, all different types of jobs. And I think about it, like we have Roberto, he's an IT expert and a marketing executive. And then we have someone like Gandhi in the Dominican Republic, and she is working in government and doing transformation tables. We have a human resources leader named Michelle, and she's leading transformation tables and inviting other human resources leaders. And then we have someone that is in the recruiting industry that is finding talent for companies. And then we have the stay-at-home moms that are doing this too, the entrepreneurs and students that are in college that are doing it too. So the question often is, well, who can do them? You can. If you are watching this, if you are listening to this, if you are breathing, you can do this. And literally what Tricia said is it's the commitment. And yes, it is 6 weeks. An hour a week is when you would show up. and you would facilitate, or you could be a part of. You don't have to facilitate. You could be a part of, maybe someone else is facilitating a table and you want to join that. I know of one that's getting ready to start, and I'm happy to put that in the chat after this. And Tricia, if someone does want to say, hey, I think this would be great. We need to do something for our organization to keep our employees engaged, or we're all in this hybrid world right now, and we're looking for things that we can do to bring our employees together and connect and team build in this virtual world. Well, you can do transformation tables in a virtual world, no problem, or you could do them live. So Tricia, how do they find this information?
Yes, thanks for asking. It's actually really easy. You can just go to changeyourworld.com and you can get started right there and create your table. If once you do that, you say, you know what, I really want to roll this out on a larger scale, and I think it might be helpful for me to have some kind of coaching along the way. If you'll just drop a note to support, we actually have a teammate who has specialized in that. And she's been gathering what are the best practices if we want to be able to roll this out to, 1,000 employees or whatever it might be, maybe a different number. But she's been able to collect what's the easiest, best way to do that, to train our facilitators. How might you want to put your groups together? Do you want light teams? Do you want to have it be more cross-functional? Can really speak into that to help people have the best experience possible.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to challenge all of you out there that are listening or watching this replay. And I'm going to challenge you to find 6 to 8 of your friends, or 6 to 8 of your coworkers, or maybe it's someone in your church, whoever it is, or students, a study group, a life group, whatever. But I'm going to challenge you to at least go to the website, changeyourworld.com, and just see what is happening and look at the transformation that is going on through Change Your World across the globe. Tricia, do you have any hard numbers on how many leaders Change Your World has touched since this launched?
So, wow, since this launch, that's a huge number. But I guess you'd have to break it down, because we are all about transformation.
Yeah.
But it looks different in different settings. So in our communities, that would be one set of numbers. In our Change Your World numbers, that's a different one. And then we also have students. But all 3 of them use transformation tables. And we have over 2 million people who are participating or have participated in that. And in fact, I'm just in the process of doing research on what some of the results of that. And it has been fabulous to see that even groups that were 5 years ago are still reporting that it's had an impact on their life and continues to. We're hearing reports of it allowing them to take steps to make a practical difference, not only in their lives, in their families' lives, but even in their communities.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what I think is just really cool to think about is John created this with the team and you and everyone around this, and it's a free resource for people. Think about that. The value of what John started and the team that is behind this to get it out more. We just need more people to help spread the word and talk about it. But this is truly something that makes an impact. And so many people through COVID started, really looking at life differently and saying, I want to do more. I want to live in purpose. I want to give back. And I don't feel valued enough where I am. And I want to add value to someone else where maybe it'll fill my cup a little bit too. And this is a great resource that costs you nothing but your time to do it. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to challenge all of you to at least go check out the website and just see what has been happening with this movement that started Guatemala, then Paraguay, then Costa Rica, then Dominican Republic, then to Tupelo, Mississippi, and then to Branson, Missouri, and then just recently back to the Dominican Republic again, right, Tricia? Did I miss anyone?
Oh, we have a group going in Longview, Texas. We have groups going in Staten Island, New York.
Oh
So
my God.
it's super exciting. John Maxwell would say to us, consider this your permission.
Yeah.
We don't need to wait for someone else to step up and be the change that we know we want to see. We have an opportunity wherever we live, wherever we work, our families that we serve, we can make a difference. And this is our opportunity to be able to do it. And like you said, seeing his heart and his commitment to making this available for us and to continue to provide tools to allow us to do that has been just so beautiful to me, to see just his passion and commitment to being able to bring a way to help people affect real, meaningful transformation in lives.
It is truly his best work. I mean, and I know this movement is what is so important to John to build that legacy around, and really watching it just form and build and grow. I really do get goosebumps knowing how proud he must be of everything that's happening. And I'm going to leave you guys with a special treat, because Tricia, tomorrow is a very special kickoff and a special event that's happening virtually. So Tricia, you want to share that if anybody wants to join?
Absolutely. We are doing a Change Your World Summit tomorrow from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock Eastern. We're going to get to hear from John Maxwell himself, where he just talks about that heart that he has for change your world and for transformation. And we're going to hear from our CEO, Mark Cole, and he's going to talk more about what it is that Change Your World is and how we can be involved. We have a sample table. So, Kelly mentioned earlier, like what really goes on around a table. You'll see the full 30 minutes of what happens around one table. And then we'll hear from 5 people who've been a part of these tables, and they'll get to share their experiences. Like, hey, this is how it played out for me in a corporate setting. This is how it played out for me in my coaching business. So we're super excited. It's a free event. We'd love to have you join us.
So we'll put the website in the link if someone wants to register tomorrow. So tomorrow Eastern time, 2 to 5. Is that right, Tricia?
Correct.
Okay. And it's virtual, so you can sit on your couch and just relax and listen, or you can be in your office, wherever you are. So just if you have a chance, please tune in. Tricia, will it also be on replay if someone can't join live, just so they know?
If they register ahead of time, I believe you have access to it for 2 weeks after that.
Okay, that's good to know in case someone had a conflict. But I'll share this, and then Tricia, you can share anything you want before we close this discussion. But the one thing that left the most impact on my heart was when I left Paraguay and John pulled me aside. It was my first experience really doing anything and kind of stepping into what the future Kelly life was going to look like, and really starting to do what I do today, and what my calling is. And John said, how was that when I left Paraguay? We were sitting on a bus back to catch the plane. And I said, John, it was like nothing I would have ever imagined. I said, I felt like I've had success for 20 years in my job, in my corporate job. And he said, and he smiled and just looked at me and he said, Kelly, once you've tasted significance, success will never be the same again. And for me, I will never forget what that really meant in that moment. And it's true, because once we do taste significance, success is great, but it will never feel the same again once you've tasted significance. So Tricia, anything you want to leave all of these beautiful people with? I see some great comments, so people are here watching us.
Sure. But first, I have to say, I love hearing that, Kelly. That is just beautiful. And I've been in that room where you feel it.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing I would add, or just from my personal experiences, I think sometimes I get overwhelmed feeling like transformation is a big word. There's so much out there that needs to be done. So my encouragement would be just find 4 or 5 friends and get in a table and let yourself experience it. Let yourself experience what it can mean for you to go through this process and experience personal transformation. The rest will follow. But it's a beautiful thing to be a part of that and to grow, to develop those meaningful relationships, to learn to lead yourself better and know yourself better. So I just encourage people to give it a try by being a part of that first table.
That's beautiful. In the comments, one of the leaders that did tables within my community was Roberto, and he said it's absolutely worth your time. The people that go through this experience together become an extended family. You build incredible relationships, bound of support and belonging. And that's such well said, Roberto, because I know you've really had transformation within the table that you led so well. So everyone deserves to be led well, and you do too. So thank you so much, Tricia, for making time in your schedule. And Tricia, I hope we can do this again. I mean, I'm sure we have some exciting things coming that maybe we can come back in and do another update in the future. I would really love that, because I think what we're able to do is really add a lot of value to people out there that are saying, I want to do something, do more, and serve. I just don't know what that might be. And maybe this is what they've been looking for.
Oh, I love that, Kelly. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you. But yeah, I'd love to keep talking and growing as we dream and see what can happen as we share this message of adding value and multiplying value to others.
Absolutely. So we will put the information in the comments after this, and feel free, but I do challenge all of you, and please direct message me or send me a message, however you normally, if you want to put it on LinkedIn, if you want to put it in my email, or just a message in Facebook or YouTube. Please, if you want to get something started, I will be glad to get you to the right people if you can't figure out how to get started. And I'm happy to be a partner with you in this to help you with transformation and change your world. So have a wonderful day, everyone. Tricia, thank you for your time. And we are so excited. Tomorrow, Change Your World Summit, 2 to 5 p.m. We will see you there.
Thank you.
Bye, Tricia.